Hi, welcome to Carolina Cooking. I'm your host, Tom Zelenka, learning to cook from some of the best chefs around the Carolinas. And today we're taking an inexpensive cut of meat, flank steak, and we're learning to cook it up in a gourmet, unique sort of Asian fusion kind of way. Can we do it in 30 minutes or less? Keep watching. If I can do it, you can too.
The worst cook on TV. And the best chefs in the Carolinas.
Not to worry, we're trained professionals.
If you can learn a lot from your mistakes, you'll learn the most from Carolina Cooking.
And a shrimp.
If Tom can do it,
looks delicious.
So can you.
Now that's Carolina Cooking. Wow, this is incredible. I'm being schooled in the kitchen today from one of the best chefs in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Chef Charlie Deal from Jujube. Charlie, appreciate you coming out.
Thanks a lot.
And helping us out make this flank steak gourmet. Now, what exactly would how would it be described on the menu there at your restaurant?
At the restaurant we grill it. We do lemongrass grilled flank steak with the yellow curry and noodles. Mm-hmm. Pretty much what it is.
Lemongrass flank steak, yellow curry, which would be on top there.
Right there.
And then the noodles, of course, on the bottom with some carrots and stuff. So how do we begin? Is flank steak, do we need to marinate it first?
It's definitely better if we do. So
okay.
We're going to start with that so it gives a little bit of time.
All right.
And so to begin with, what we're going to start with is chopping up our lemongrass.
Yeah, this is lemongrass. I can find this at an Asian market?
Yeah, you can actually find it in a lot of big grocery stores these days. We just want to chop off the very bottom end.
Is there good lemongrass and bad lemongrass?
Well, it wants to be pretty firm. You can tell if the tops are looking really dry, it's not so nice. This is all right.
Does it smell lemon? I was just checking to see if it
actually, the funny thing about lemongrass is, to me, it smells like Fruit Loops cereal. And when you actually make lemongrass desserts and you add a little sugar, it tastes just like Fruit Loops. In fact, I'm convinced that they use lemongrass and Fruit Loops.
It may actually smell like, now that you mention it, yeah,
exactly.
Now I get that too. You're not crazy.
No,
I'm just
not.
letting you know.
Well, I am, but that's all right.
All right, so we need to chop it?
Yeah, what we're going to do is kind of score it down into quarters, so run down the length of the lemongrass.
Okay.
All the way through. There you go.
Like that?
Yeah. Now we're just going to rotate it.
Oh, rotate?
Like that.
Ah, that's what you meant by quarters. I thought I was going to have to make 4 stripes in that one piece there.
Okay, now just go ahead and chop it as finely as you can the other direction.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, keeping my fingers out of the way. It does help to have a big knife. As finely as I can. I'm trying. So your restaurant Jujube is there in Chapel Hill in the triangle, and it's kind of, what would you describe it as?
Well, it gets described as fusion cuisine, and I guess fairly so. It's updated regional cuisines, primarily from China and Vietnam, that we've sort of brought into this century with some nice wines and cocktails to boot. And that's probably enough right there.
Okay.
And
what
just kind of go back through.
Lemongrass taste like?
Sort of lemony?
Yeah, it's sort of lemony in a not so lemony sort of way.
All right, so just go ahead and chop that up just a little bit more. Just kind of go back through.
I wouldn't suggest eating raw lemongrass. I wouldn't suggest getting out the milk and just pouring a big bowl of lemongrass. I'd stick with the Fruit Loops if I were you.
All right, that's good enough. Put that in the bowl.
Okie doke. There we go.
Go ahead and add about half this brown sugar.
Brown sugar. What's the brown sugar going to do? Just
well, basically, salt and sugar is essentially the base of any marinade for meat, and it helps kind of break down the proteins and infuse it with flavor. Speaking of salt, we'll go with our fish sauce.
This would be fish sauce back here, the brown?
Exactly, and go ahead and use about half of that. That's good. There you go. And then the sweet chili.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat that raw either if I were you. Sweet chili.
There you go. That's good enough.
Okay.
And just a touch of peanut oil.
And a touch.
Boop. There you go.
All right.
Now let's just go ahead and mix that up a little bit.
And I'm trying to break up the brown sugar clumps there? Uh-huh. Now, what inspired you to get into Asian food?
I think it's just the purity of the flavors. I think that they're all really noble and elegant foods that end up getting relegated to Formica table dining, and someone needs to take it up to the next level. And
you're just the guy to do it.
Well, I hope so.
Charlie Deal, the man to do it.
All right, you're all ready to go and put your steak. We're just kind of submerge your steak in there nicely.
Okay.
All right.
And you can buy flank steak. It comes like a big, long strip, right?
Yeah, although usually when the store it comes in pieces not much larger than that, so it's pretty much ready to go when you buy it at most grocery stores.
Did you need to trim the fat off this or anything?
On that one I did just a little bit, but again, when you buy it from the butcher, it's usually pretty much trimmed and ready to go, and a little bit of fat never hurt anybody.
And it's usually a pretty expensive or the most expensive cut of meat there in the... Expensive, I meant inexpensive, right?
Exactly.
Inexpensive cut of meat there in the food store, in the grocery store.
You're ready to go there. Let's move on over here.
All right.
Bring your knife with you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why don't you go ahead and just chop this onion up into nice big chunks. It doesn't have to be pretty or anything like that. Just...
All right. Nice big chunks. Did you want, like...
Doesn't matter. Just make it smaller than it is.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Maybe once across the other way. There, perfect. Okay, let's just go ahead and toss that in here.
You need the other side chopped up?
No, we'll be all set. You can do that on your own time.
Okay.
This is a little yellow curry paste. We're going to put that inside there with it.
Just keeping the onion for later.
All right.
Curry paste, okay.
Toss our blender up. Blend it up. Now we want to get a nice smooth paste. In order to do so, we're going to have to add just a little bit of water. There you go. You can
Just
add the...
slowly drizzle?
Yeah.
Or just pour it in?
Go ahead and pour a little in.
Tell me when.
That's good.
Should I actually be getting some in the food processor?
I think you actually succeed.
Okay, good, because I did get a bunch on the outside there.
All right, and that's about as smooth as we need to get it.
Really?
All righty. Now, there's something about the smell that what happens when you puree an onion rather than just chop it before sautéing it. There we go. Take that over to your burner.
Okay.
Turn this thing on.
Have the oven going or the stove going. Put
There
it up
you
on
go.
high. Have his, and now we're going to use some of this other stuff, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
A little bit more oil right here. Go ahead and add it in there.
Okay.
The whole contents. There you go. Now what we're going to do is just saute this for a little while, bring out the aromatics, and once we do so, we're going to add the coconut milk, a little salt and sugar.
Okay. Alrighty, well, I guess we're going to continue working on our marinade here, and then when we come back, we're going to be cooking up the flank steak when Carolina Cooking continues.
There you go, as you were.
The Carolina Cooking Cookbook is in stores now. You can find the secret recipes of the best chefs in the Carolinas, all in one book, the Carolina Cooking Cookbook. Find the Carolina Cooking Cookbook in Barnes & Noble, Target, Borders Books, Amazon.com, and our website, carolinacooking.tv. That's right, carolinacooking.tv. All the recipes you've seen on the show, wine pairings, advice from the chefs, and Tom. Get the secret recipes of the best chefs in the Carolinas in the Carolina Cooking Cookbook.
Welcome back to Carolina Cooking. I'm here with Chef Charlie Deal of Jujube in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And this recipe you can find on our website or in our upcoming cookbook. We have let our curry reduce down, thicken up here on the front burner, and now we're ready to add other stuff to it.
Little coconut milk. Go ahead and add about 2/3 of that can right there.
2/3?
Yeah, it's plenty of it.
Mm-hmm. Woo!
There you go. Now
One
we're just
more.
going to turn this up a little bit.
Still up.
Till it's nice and hot. Oh, God. Alrighty, anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Now let's go ahead and just a little pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt. You already got that?
Pinch of sugar.
I'll get a pinch of sugar.
All right, now that's going to go ahead and cook a little bit longer.
Okay.
And while that's going on, come on over here.
Sure.
We got to get our vegetables ready for it. This is a little bok choy.
Bok choy.
All right, we're going to just go ahead. I'll do the first one, you do the second. We're just going to chop through.
What is bok choy? Where does that come from?
It's just an Asian green.
Okay.
I think it's a relative of the cabbage family, actually. Oh. And as you get closer to the end, you slice it thinner and thinner. And you can kind of discard it from that point. There's often lots of grit in there, so I like to chop it and then wash it to really get it all out.
Thinner and thinner.
There you go.
And then discard that.
Exactly.
And
into the water you go.
Into the water you go, because it's all gritty.
Okay. Now we're going to get our carrot julienne.
Julienne, our carrot.
And so if you have a mandolin, it's kind of handy. If you don't, first we're going to go ahead and slice it nice.
I have a mandolin.
A mandolin is a little handy kitchen device that just for julienne is not that at all.
Because I may have one. I have a guitar, and we could
try.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and slice these up like this. And then I'm going to take half, and you're going to take half.
And we'll see who gets done first.
Exactly. And now we're just going to take these and stack them up.
Okay.
And slice them.
Look over there.
Oh, how about that?
Hang on. My stack fell. Charlie.
You will be tested on this.
There's some bigger pieces in here.
All
My
right,
julienne's
that's fine.
a little
we're going to get
thicker.
it cooked anyways. Let's put this
Okay.
to the side now. Back over to our stove.
Oh, our stuff is bubbling like
Turn
crazy.
that down a little bit.
Alrighty.
There we go. They can keep that on low. That's just about done there. And now
All
we're
right.
going to go ahead and sear our steak off.
Ah, we have had that sitting marinating.
Exactly.
That's long enough for it to get all good.
I think it is. I mean, certainly hours best, but half hour certainly does the trick.
Do I want any of this juice in here?
No, not much. And you don't have to blot it dry or anything like that, but you certainly don't want to make a point of carrying it with you.
Do we need oil in here?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Ah.
Now,
that smells good.
This is really tasty on a barbecue as well. In fact, probably even tastier still. So
I could grill it outside.
You could grill it outside, and it'd be delicious that way. But this is certainly a way you can pull it off without.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is just cook it on this side right here. Sear it for a little while. We have our oven preheated nice and hot to 425.
And how long? I mean, do you need to make this rare? Do you need to make it?
What would you do? Well, I think if it's too rare, it's a little chewy. I like it best right about medium rare. You know, just like any other steak, really.
All right.
So let's go ahead and we're going to flip that over, and you're going to bring it over to the oven.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to grab the door for you, I think.
Okay, and I'm going to bring it over to the oven.
Yeah, let's just grab this right here.
All right.
And I'll grab the door for you.
Alrighty. That's
right.
in there for about 5-10 minutes.
Okay, and what now?
Now we're just going to boil our noodles.
Ah, boiling
There
water.
we go. And they'll take about as much time as the steak.
Okay. And what kind of noodles are these?
I like to use a medium width Chinese wheat noodle for this. And that's basically what they call them in the Asian market. And if you toss them in here, kind of spinning back and forth, they avoid sticking. How you doing there?
Just playing around, sorry.
There
You're
you
doing
go.
all the work, so. They just go for a couple of minutes in there.
Exactly.
All right, well, plenty of time for me to go talk with Aris Ragazeas and find out which wine he's paired with his meal when Carolina Cooking continues. You should find these. You should try these.
Delicious,
They're really
huh?
good. Yeah. I like doing this with spaghetti, you know?
Yeah, well, that's the classic.
And then they
one,
tell you
isn't
it's bad for your teeth, but, you know, I don't think it is.
You can find the secret recipes of the best chefs in the Carolinas, all in one book, the Carolina Cooking Cookbook. Find the Carolina Cooking Cookbook in Amazon.com and our website, carolinacooking.tv.
Welcome back to Carolina Cooking. I'm here with our wine guru, Aris Ragazeas, and Aris, we're making up a steak, and we're it's kind of an Asian kind of spice on it too. So, did that throw you off any with Asian flavors on a steak?
No, as long as they're in the background. I mean, the major part of the dish is still the steak. Okay, and with steak, I like to be a little classic. I'm not always too inventive. I'm going to go with the classic Cabernet Sauvignon.
Well, okay.
mix.
What are the other classic wines that would go with beef of steak?
Yeah, you can go with a Burgundy. You can go with a Syrah.
Okay.
As long as it's a good full-bodied red.
All right.
Okay.
But you definitely, you know, I've always heard beef, you use red. And is
Good
that
strong
pretty
red,
much,
too.
yeah, pretty much across the board, beef, you use red wine?
Yes,
Okay.
and I picked an Australian
Oh.
red, Cabernet Sauvignon-based wine, and this is called Swings and Roundabouts.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yes, the Australians are very inventive about their labeling.
Yeah.
And this is from the Margaret River region.
Okay, and that's the one you were saying that was up on, you know, towards the Indian Ocean.
It's towards
there.
the Indian Ocean, and that gives it a cooler climate. Most people think of Australia as producing only big, heavy wines.
Well, when I
very,
think
very
of
rich wines.
When I think of Australia, I think of Crocodile Dundee, and then I think about the wines. But no, I do think about the outback. I think about how hot it is there, and how many crocodiles they seem to have, because there's plenty of wrestling to do with the crocodiles. So
I don't wrestle crocodiles.
But I
Yeah.
picture Australia as being a hot country, not.
Well, it
a
mostly
moderate
is,
country.
but the Margaret River appellation is a little more moderated by the influence of the Indian Ocean. So
Is that butter? Is that a buttery smell that I can get in there? I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised at all
Okay, all
because
right.
they undergo malolactic fermentation as well.
Oh.
But
Say that 10 times fast.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
But being a cooler climate, it's going to give wines that are more classically structured like Bordeaux. And as a matter of fact, the climate is not too dissimilar. So it's a cooler climate. The wines are not quite as heavy, but they're very elegant, stylish, a lot of flavor, and a lot of nice structure.
Okay.
And just like Bordeaux, they've actually blended this with the other Bordeaux grape varieties. It's mostly Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's also got some Merlot, some Cabernet Franc, and some Malbec.
And we're seeing a lot more of the screw tops too,
Yeah.
which used to signify a lower,
Not
very
anymore.
low wine, but now it signifies that the fact, I think, we're running out of cork at this point?
No, some of the corks have been spoiling some of the wines.
Ah.
And the Australians and the people from New Zealand have really taken the screw cap on for their major bottlings. Almost all of New Zealand is now screw cap, and a lot of the wineries in Australia, for their top of the line wines as well, have gone to screw caps.
Well,
So it's no longer for an inexpensive wine.
I appreciate all the information yet again, Eris. I've got to get back and get my steak out of the oven, so I appreciate everything.
Okay.
And I think this is going to just work out perfectly.
It's gonna be perfect.
And I'll be back in the kitchen with Carolina cooking. Continue.
You can find the secret recipes of the best chefs in the Carolinas, all in one book, the Carolina Cooking Cookbook. Find the Carolina Cooking Cookbook in Amazon.com and our website, carolinacooking.tv.
Welcome back to Carolina Cooking. I'm here with a fantastic chef from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Chef Charlie Deal, and our steak has been in the oven for?
About 10 minutes.
And you don't want to overcook a steak, so we got to get it out right now. And, ooh, it looks very good, Charlie.
Let's go ahead and put that up there on the board, let it rest.
Let it rest. Why are we doing
Well,
that?
if we cut it right away, all the blood will rush out, and so this kind of lets the muscles relax, and the blood will settle back in there, and
Okay.
it will stay nice and juicy.
And how long do we want to leave it there for?
A piece of steak that big, about 5 minutes. Larger roast, as much as 10 or 15.
Okay, so what can we do in between that?
Well, we're just finishing up our noodles
Oh, yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, you can handle this.
Thank you.
And then what I like to, this is just for a little quick trick. These noodles are just about done. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and add all the vegetables, which we want to just blanch shortly, to the same water to save a pot. Because at my house, I gotta clean as well as cook.
Oh, no, at my house, Charlie, you should start this. If you cook, you don't clean.
Well, actually,
Huh?
we both clean and cook.
It's
All
a
right,
good,
stir
good
that
plan
up.
if you don't do that at home.
There you go. And those vegetables they're done now, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So just go ahead and strain those into that pot right there.
Alrighty, set that down there. Get my handy dandy mitts and strain it out here.
There you go. Come on back over here.
All right,
So that's just draining right now. We're gonna go ahead and slice up our steak.
and how do we want to slice it?
Well, this is the grain right here, so we want to go against the grain.
Okay.
Let the knife do the hard work and your teeth do the easy work.
Okay, I'll give it a
And
try.
So there you go. So just slice it thin. If you want to go on the bias, that'd be okay too.
On the bias means
This way.
Oh, okay.
But there you go.
All right.
No,
I keep
no,
turning the knife.
then
and
I'm
you keep
gonna
turning
keep
the
on-
steak.
exactly, and then we'll get nowhere.
That's a fun game.
And then we'll both die of starvation. So let's go ahead and slice
All
this
right.
baby up.
Is that good like that?
Yep.
Am I supposed to be sawing like this, or is that bad?
That's fine.
Okay, I
That's,
didn't know.
Again, letting the knife do the work.
See, I'm not trying so hard, and it gets easier. And what would you call this? This is rare? Is this medium rare?
This is, I would say, right in between rare and medium rare. Okay, that's ready to go. Now we'll go ahead and take your tongs and bring your bowl over there and pull your vegetables and noodles out.
I got goo on it.
Oh,
These fingers right here, I don't want to dirty up the plate. Alrighty. So just get a scoopful like that.
exactly.
Ooh. Right in the center there.
Right in the center there.
Alrighty.
You put it right back here in the middle. Grab your curry sauce
Alrighty.
and just go ahead.
And this we let bubble for how long again?
Well, it's not so much a time issue, it's more just until it gets about that thick. I believe it took us about 5-10 minutes to get there. But it might
Alright.
take you, faster or slower depending on how hot you're cooking it.
Okay.
And go ahead and just cover that whole dish with that. Use plenty of it.
Could you use this sauce for anything else? Could you just eat it with the noodles if you wanted a
Absolutely.
vegetarian dish?
That's exactly this. You just omit the steak, and this is a really quick vegetarian dinner. Put the steak in there. It's a quick, not so vegetarian dinner.
Ta-da!
Alrighty.
Enough?
Yep, that's enough.
All right.
Now go ahead and take as much steak as you like on there. and-
Wow, I would like it all. So, actually, we'll leave off that much. All right, and just kind of let it fan out.
Exactly.
All right.
And we're just going to go ahead and garnish this with a little of these thinly sliced onions.
Oh. These are onions?
The scallions,
The
yeah,
scallions.
green onion.
Okay. And just kind of.
Right there, exactly. Just make it look pretty. A little of the cilantro. Oh, look
I
at
got height.
that.
Isn't that nice? I know how chefs always like height. You're supposed to build up, huh?
There we go.
Look, does anybody want to take a picture? Okay, we've
They're
done it.
doing that
Yeah,
as we
exactly.
speak, actually. Go
All
ahead,
right.
a little cilantro.
Cilantro. Now, is this normal to use? I would consider cilantro to kind of be a Spanish spice or a Mexican
Oh,
spice.
no. Cilantro is really prevalent in Southeast Asia, which is right where this dish is coming from. And then some little squeeze of lime. You can put them on there or squeeze them on there right now, since I'm sure we're going to get right into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks delicious.
And-
oh, would you look at that? Oh, I'm trying to clean up the corner of the plate there. Wow,
That's
this
it.
is incredible. If you want to find out more, grab a knife and fork. If you want to find out more about this recipe or our wine or our chef or his restaurant, visit our website at www.carolinacooking.tv. I'm Tom Zelenka here with Chef Charlie Deal, and that, Carolina Cooking.
You get some of the curry sauce.
Wow. This is really good.
Go to carolinacooking.tv for the recipes featured on this show. Plus, on carolinacooking.tv, you'll find more information on the wine, chefs, and foods of Carolina cooking. That's carolinacooking.tv.